Welcome to KK Readings. Let's read together. Snow White and the Three Giants by Cherry Gosling, illustrated by Jordi Muncial Planas. Since meeting the dwarfs long ago, Snow White knew the path to their cottage well. But one day, because she was busy talking to the wood-like creatures, she took a wrong turn. She arrived at a very different cottage instead. At first, Snow White didn't notice, but she stepped inside. "Oh my!" Snow White exclaimed. Instead of a neat row of 7 little chairs, she saw 3 enormous chairs. Instead of a cozy kitchen she knew so well, a fire roared and crackled in an enormous hearth. Just then Snow White discovered the enormous dining table. The ground began to shake. "Oh no!" she gasped. With a groan, the door opened, and in came 3 of the tallest people Snow White had ever seen. They lumbered straight toward her. "What should I do now?" thought Snow White. Snow White cleared her throat and stepped into view. "Excuse me," she said. The giant jumped back in surprise. "I'm sorry," Snow White continued. "I let myself in by mistake." "Oh," said the largest giant, "you scared us. We don't get visitors often." "But now that you're here," said the least big giant, "you should join us for dinner." The least big giant helped her climb up on his chair. "You'll need some cushions," he said. "And here is a small plate and glass," said the middle-sized giant. "Thank you," said Snow White. "You're all so kind." The next day Snow White told the dwarfs about her adventures. "Giants?" stammered Bashful. Sleepy yawned. "Aren't they dangerous?" "Not at all," Snow White said. "Don't trust them," Grumpy said. "You can't trust anyone that tall." "But I'm taller than you," Snow White said. "Well, you'll just have to meet them." Back at the castle, Snow White addressed 10 party invitations and made a list of the delicious food she'd make. All she needed now was a game to get everyone laughing. On the day of the party, Snow White announced, "We're going to play Snap. I'll point out something about me, and if it's true for you, shout Snap, and then it's someone else's turn." "Oh, I love games like this," chuckled Duck. "Here we go," said Snow White, thinking for a moment. "I have 2 eyes." "Snap!" yelled the dwarfs. "Snap!" yelled the giants. Snow White turned to Bashful, who was up next. "I have 2 ears." "Snap!" called the dwarfs. "Snap!" called the giants. It was the largest giant's turn. "I have 1 nose." "Snap!" shouted the dwarfs. Snap! shouted the giants. I guess we have a lot in common after all, Grumpy muttered. Yes, you do, said Snow White. And there's one more thing you have in common. You are all my friends. The end. Tangled ever after. Rapunzel's wedding day. One beautiful morning, in a distant kingdom, everyone was excited about a very special occasion. Princess Rapunzel was getting married to Flynn Rider. As friends and family waited for Rapunzel to walk down the aisle, Max, the proud ring-bearer horse, and Pascal, the official flower chameleon, led the way. Pascal happily threw petals from his bouquet as they walked. At the altar, Rapunzel and Flynn were as joyful as could be. As the ceremony began, it seemed to be the perfect wedding. Suddenly, a flower petal fell on Max's nose. Max gave a tremendous sneeze, and the wedding rings went flying. The rings bounced out a side door, across the roof, and into the courtyard below. Max and Pascal followed close behind. The two friends had to get the rings back. All along the kingdom streets, vendors had set up their wares in preparation for the wedding celebration. The pair of rings bounced past a dress cart and a makeup cart. Max was so focused on capturing the rings that he crashed right into the carts. Dresses, shoes, hats, and makeup flew everywhere. When he emerged from the mess, Max was wearing a little bit of everything. Max nodded with surprise. Just then he spotted a glint of gold under one of the carts. It was one of the wedding rings. Meanwhile, Pascal had followed the other ring as it bounced onto a floating lantern. Pascal grabbed the lantern just as it was released into the sky. After a hectic chase through the air, Pascal finally reached for the wedding ring, just as it bounced off the lantern and onto the claw of a flying dove. Max and Pascal had to get the wedding ring back from the dove. As the bird flew higher, Max galloped over to a clothesline, stretched it back, and flung himself and his little friend high into the air. The dove was almost within reach, and Max and gone as high as he could. The horse plugged downward as Pascal lingered a moment in the sky, straining to grab the ring from the dove. But he couldn't get it. In desperation, the chameleon shot out his tongue. Max was still in the air when Pascal caught up to him, holding the second wedding ring. The two friends crashed through the roof of a tar factory, covered in tar but holding the rings. They raced back to the wedding. At the great hall, the ceremony was nearly over. As Rapunzel and Flynn stood at the altar, a murmur went through the crowd. Where were the ring bearers? Suddenly, there was a clatter of hoofs. Max and Pascal burst into the hall, proudly carrying the wedding rings. The friends were a sticky mess. Rapunzel was shocked at Max and Pascal's appearance, but she smiled when she realized they were just fine, and so were the rings. The ceremony continued, and Rapunzel and Flynn were married at last. It was the perfect wedding day. As they watched the happy couple, Max and Pascal breathed a sigh of relief. Then Max leaned against the cake cart and sent it rolling toward the door. The end. Cinderella's Best Ever Creations by Cherry Gosling, illustrated by Federico Mancuso. Cinderella gets invited to many grand events, but every year her favorite invitation is to the harvest dance at her neighboring village. This year, Cinderella wanted to do something special for the villagers. "I know," she said to her mice friends. "There are 4 little girls in the village. I'm going to make them each a new dress." "That's a great idea," squeaked Jack. "Those little girls feel so special," Gus clapped. So Cinderella set to work creating the first little dress. First, she laid out the fabric. Next, she cut out the patterns. Then she sewed together all of the pieces. Finally, the first dress was done. She set off to make the other 3. On the day of the celebration, Cinderella filled the carriage with her 4 new creations. The mice hopped in too. As they reached the village, the girls ran out to greet them. "Here they come!" squeaked Gus. "But wait, shouted Jack. "There are 5 of them. There must be a new family in the village," said Cinderella. "What are we going to do?" Cinderella stepped down from her carriage. "To thank you all for inviting me, I wanted to surprise you with new dresses," she said. "But I'm afraid I've only made 4. Don't worry, though. I have an idea for how to make a 5th. "What if we all shared a part of our new dress?" asked the eldest girl. "Then maybe you have enough clothes to make our friend a dress too." "My thought exactly," said Cinderella. "Would you all like to help?" The girls didn't waste a moment. They carried their dresses to a nearby table and laid them down gently. Snip, 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 snip went the scissors as Cinderella carefully cut off some ruffles. Swish swash rustled the cloth as Jack, Gus, and the girls scattered it all up. As Cinderella started assembling the new dress, the girls found more ways to share. "You can use some purple bows from my dress for decoration," said one of the girls. "Here's some blue fabric from mine," added another. "Here's my yellow fabric," added another. "And here's some of my pink fabric," added yet another. "Tweet, tweet, tweet," sang the birds as they helped Cinderella sew together the bows and the fabric. When Cinderella was finished, she gave each of the 5 girls a new dress. "Thank you," they shouted. "My thanks to you all," said Cinderella. "With your help, these dresses have become some of my best ever creations." "Let's celebrate," squeaked Jack. "This way," said the eldest girl, taking Cinderella by the hand. Yup, giggled Gus. "Let's dance." The end. Frozen. When Princess Elsa and Princess Anna of Arendelle were little girls, they were the best of friends. Anna was one of the only people who knew Elsa's secret. Elsa had the power to make snow and ice with just her hands. One night, Elsa filled an empty ballroom with snow. The sisters played together, building a snowman, sledding, and ice skating. But as they played, Elsa lost control. She accidentally hit Anna with a blast of icy magic. Anna was badly hurt. So her parents went to the ancient mountain trolls for help. There, a wise old troll told them that Anna could be saved. She was lucky to have been hit in the head, not the heart. Even though Anna got better, her parents worried that people would fear Elsa's power. To keep her gift a secret, they surrounded the castle with walls and never let anyone inside. But whenever Elsa had strong feelings, the magic still spilled out. Elsa didn't want to hurt her sister again, so she never played with Anna. That made Anna very lonely. Even after their parents were lost in a storm at sea, the sisters didn't spend any time together. Years later, it was time for Elsa to become Queen of Arendelle. For just that day, the castle gates were opened. Hundreds of people attended the crowning ceremony. Elsa worked hard to hide her feelings and her powers. Anna loved meeting all the new people. I wish it could be like this all the time. Me too. At the coronation party, Anna danced with handsome Prince Hans from the Southern Isles. He made her heart flutter. It seemed like they had everything in common. Because the gates were just open for one day, Hans and Anna knew this was their only chance to be together. Can I say something crazy? Will you marry me? Yes! Anna and Hans asked Elsa for her blessing, but Elsa thought their engagement was a bad idea. You can't marry a man you just met. My answer is no. Anna couldn't believe it. Why do you shut me out? What are you so afraid of? Elsa started to lose control. Enough! As she shouted, I shot from her hands. Everyone stared at Elsa in shock. Now all of Arendelle knew Elsa's secret. Elsa panicked and fled for the mountains. Anna felt horrible. Elsa's out-of-control powers had created a terrible winter storm in the middle of summer. I'll bring her back, and I'll make this right. She left Hans in charge of the kingdom and raced after Elsa on her horse. But as Anna rode through the fierce wind, her horse threw her into the snow and ran off back to Arendelle. Luckily, Anna met an ice harvester named Christoph and his reindeer friend Sven. She asked them for help. "I know how to stop this winter." Together they set off to look for Elsa. As they climbed the mountain, Anna and Christoph discovered a beautiful winter wonderland. There they met an enchanted snowman named Olaf. Anna thought he looked familiar. "Olaf, did Elsa build you?" Olaf smiled. "Yeah, why? Do you know where she is?" "Yeah, why?" Christoph got to the point. "We need Elsa to bring back summer." Olaf was eager to help them. "Come on." Meanwhile, Hans was hard at work helping the people of Arendelle. But when Anna's horse came back to the castle without her, Hans knew he couldn't stay. "Princess Anna is in trouble." Hans turned to the crowd. "I need volunteers to go with me to find her." Soon Hans and some soldiers set out in search of Anna and Elsa. Back on the mountain, Olaf led Anna and Christoph to a giant ice palace that Elsa had created with her powers. Even Christoph was impressed. "Now that's ice." Inside, Anna told Elsa about the terrible storm in Arendelle. "It's okay. You can just freeze it." Elsa looked worried. "I don't know how. That's not good." Elsa was afraid that if she went back, she would just make the storm worse. Arendelle and Anna might be better off without her. What am I going to do? Anna tried over and over to convince her to come home, but Elsa was too scared that she would hurt more people. As Elsa argued with her sister, an icy wave of magic burst from her body and struck Anna in the chest. "Anna!" Anna stood up and looked at Elsa. "No, I'm not leaving without you, Elsa." "Yes, you are." Elsa knew what she had to do. Elsa used her magic to create a huge snowman. He chased the friends out of the palace and toward a tall cliff. Kristoff pulled out a rope to help them climb down. "What if we fall?" "There's 20 feet of fresh powder down there. It will be like landing on a pillow." "Hopefully." They leaped over the edge and landed safely on the fluffy snow below. They had escaped from the snowman, and Anna had other things to worry about. Anna's hair was turning snowy white. "It's because she struck you, isn't it?" Kristoff brought Anna to the trolls, hoping they could help. One troll told them that Elsa's icy magic had struck Anna's heart. If the magic was not reversed, Anna would soon be frozen solid. Only an act of true love could thaw a frozen heart. Anna knew she loved Hans. Maybe a kiss from him would be work. After friends hurried toward Arendelle, Anna began to shiver. Kristoff was especially worried about her. He was starting to care for Hannah. At that moment, Hans and the soldiers arrived at the ice palace and attacked Elsa. As she defeated herself, Elsa trapped one of her attackers behind icy spikes! Hans cried out to her. Queen Elsa! Don't be the monster they think you are! Elsa paused, but in her moment of doubt, she was knocked out. The attackers brought her back to Arundel and threw her in the dungeon. When Anna arrived in Arundel, she said goodbye to Kristoff and Olaf. Then she raced to see Hans. As soon as they were alone, Anna asked Hans to save her with a kiss, but Hans refused. Anna realized that he had only pretended to love her. He wanted to take over Randall by getting rid of Anna and Elsa. All that's left now is to kill Elsa and bring back Summer. Hans left Anna alone and shivering. Luckily, Olaf found her and helped her warm up the fire. But Anna was still getting weaker and weaker. As Anna told him about Hans' evil plan, Olaf glanced out the window and saw Kristoff racing toward the castle. He realized that Kristoff loved Anna. There's an act of true love right there. It was Kristoff and Anna needed to kiss. With the last of her strength, Anna struggled outside. Meanwhile, Elsa had escaped from the dungeon, but Hans was close behind her. Elsa, you can't run from this, Hans told Elsa about her magic blast to Anna's heart. I tried to save her, but it was too late. Elsa collapsed in the snow and closed her eyes. Everything she had done to protect her sister had failed, and it was all her fault. Nearby, Anna was hurrying toward Kristoff when she heard the clank of Hans' sword. She turned and saw her sister. Elsa was in danger. Instead of saving herself and running to Kristoff, Anna leaped in front of her sister. No! As Hans swung his sword, it shattered against Anna's frozen body. She had turned to solid ice. Elsa clutched her sister. Oh, Anna, no, please, no! Suddenly, Anna began to thaw. Her arms, warm again, reached around Elsa, and the two sisters hugged. As Elsa watched them, he remembered what the wise old troll had said. An act of true love will thaw a frozen heart. Anna's love for Elsa had saved both of them and the kingdom. Soon the two sisters were best friends again, and Summer had returned to Arundel. Elsa even made Olaf a little snow cloud to keep him from melting. One day Elsa had a surprise for Anna. The castle gates were wide open. We are never closing them again. The sisters smiled at each other. That everything was the way it was supposed to be. The end. Thank you for reading with me. If you like my story, please subscribe, share, and like. Thank you.